Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to continue with the economic challenges of Pakistan. अगर आपने मेरी previous videos देखी होंगी तो उसमें हमने already I think we have discussed about 10 economic challenges faced by Pakistan. And still there are some other challenges as well that we are going to discuss in this video. Okay, so let's begin with our video. Our problem number 11 is persistent fiscal deficit. You know that what is fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit arises when there is lower tax revenue generation and there is much larger government expenditure. You can say that fiscal deficit is what is budget deficit. I mean to say that जो हमारा बजट डेफिसिट होता है उसी को हम अपना फिस्कल डेफिसिट कहते हैं. So it's the other name of our budget deficit. And you know that it has been an everlasting problem for Pakistan क्योंकि हमारे पास रेवेन्यू शॉर्टफॉल होता है और हमारे एक्सपेंडिचर्स बहुत ज़्यादा हैं जिसकी वजह से we have to face this fiscal deficit consistently, persistently. So this is one of the major problems of our economic system. Let's move on to our next problem, that is negligible domestic production and products of low value addition. You know that the key to economic prosperity is value addition and domestic production. So अगर हम दूसरे कंट्रीज़ की इकोनॉमीज़ को देखें जैसे इंडिया की इकोनॉमी को देखें या चाइना की इकोनॉमी को देखें, they are the emerging economies. Because they are working on these two sectors, they have enhanced their domestic production and they have developed their sector of value addition. So पाकिस्तान को भी अपनी इकोनॉमी को फ्लरिश करने के लिए ये दो काम करने ज़रूर पड़ेंगे. एक तो अपनी डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन को इंक्रीज़ करना पड़ेगा, यानी अपनी प्रोसेसिंग और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री को रैंप अप करना पड़ेगा. And also Pakistan must develop its value addition sector. Because जो value added products होते हैं उनकी एक high price होती है as compared to the raw material. So if Pakistan improves in these areas, then it will significantly contribute to our GDP growth. Okay, now our next problem is low productivity due to unskilled labor. फिर चाहे हम एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर से लेकर इंडस्ट्री की बात करें, अपने एक्सपोर्ट्स की बात करें या पब्लिक सेक्टर से सर्विसेज की बात करें, हमें हर जगह प्रोडक्टिविटी का चैलेंज फेस करना पड़ता है. पाकिस्तान हैज़ ओवरऑल एन एवरेज लो प्रोडक्टिविटी. दैट्स मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ द अनस्किल्ड लेबर. सो देयर इज़ अ रिपोर्ट दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू द इंटरनेशनल लेबर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एस्टिमेशंस between 2010 and 2019, output per worker grew less than 20% in the case of Pakistan. जबकि अगर हम उसे दूसरे कंट्रीज़ के साथ कंपेयर करें तो 86% इंक्रीज़ हुआ था इन केस ऑफ चाइना, 68% इंक्रीज़ इन इंडिया एंड 50% इंक्रीज़ इन बांग्लादेश. यानी जो लोवेस्ट लेवल पे जो लाया करता था वो पाकिस्तान था. पाकिस्तान्स आउटपुट पर worker grew less than 20%, which is obviously very low. और इसके पीछे मेनली वजह यही है कि लो एजुकेशनल अटेनमेंट है. ठीक है, हमारी जो वर्क फोर्स है ज़्यादातर दैट इज़ अनस्किल्ड लेबर. तो अगर हम अपनी एजुकेशन को इम्प्रूव करते हैं, अपनी ट्रेनिंग्स को इम्प्रूव करते हैं, स्किल इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए ट्रेनिंग्स देते हैं और जो ऑलरेडी स्किल्ड हैं उनकी अपस्किलिंग के लिए वर्क करते हैं, तो देन वी विल बी एबल to counter this problem of low productivity due to unskilled labor. And our next problem is adverse law and order situation. If we talk about it, then we know that Pakistan has battled insurgency in recent years. And Pakistan had to launch operations to fight the terrorists. That means that it upped our military bill. लाइक हमारे बजट का जो 20% हिस्सा होता है वो हमारे डिफेंस पर्पस के लिए एक्सपेंडिचर्स, उनके डिफेंस पर्पस के लिए जो हमारे एक्सपेंडिचर्स होते हैं उन पे खर्च होता है. दैट ऑब्वियसली ओवर शैडोज़ द इकोनॉमी. But then of course you know that without internal security the economy cannot move forward either. Our next problem is that of low GDP growth rate. So there is a report that according to the World Bank data, Pakistan's GDP growth plummeted from 5.5% for year 17 and 18 and then to 1.9% for year 18 and 19 and then to minus 0.4% for year 19 and 20. So you see the decline in our GDP growth rate. And you know that in 2020, the country recorded negative growth rate for the first time since 1952. So obviously जब इस तरह GDP हमारी decline करेगी, shrink होगी, तो obviously their employment has also shrunk considerably. And अगर हम currently बात करें तो World Bank has projected 1.3% GDP growth rate for 2020 and 2021. And the IMF's estimate is slightly higher, that is 1.5%, which is obviously not enough to sustain a population of 220 million people. Our next problem is that of debt servicing. You know that Pakistan's fiscal position is very poor with an unmanageable increase in debts. Pakistan spends a whopping amount in debt servicing, and this is the main problem for government, that it must borrow continuously to pay back the previous debts. A report, the data released by the State Bank of Pakistan reveals that the incumbent government paid around $11.895 billion in external public debt servicing during 2019 and 20. So you see that taxpayers' money, instead of being spent on public welfare, is being diverted to the foreign debt servicing. So this is quite an economic problem for Pakistan. And Pakistan doesn't seem to come out of this debt anytime soon. Now we must discuss the circular debt issue. The major trigger behind the circular debt is the energy sector of Pakistan. A few years ago, Pakistan did not produce enough electricity to meet the domestic demand. But after the CPEC project was signed, new projects for electricity generation to meet the domestic demand were set up. But the problem arises that large-scale construction of the new power plants under CPEC dramatically boosted the country's energy capacity, actually more electricity generating capacity than it needed. So actually Pakistan has enough installed capacity, actually that is in excess installed capacity, but no cash flow to run it. Under those projects, Pakistan made agreements with the independent power producers. Hence, पाकिस्तान की गवर्नमेंट ने IPPs के साथ ये एग्रीमेंट किया था कि there will be fixed production of electricity. यानी जितना भी जो फिक्स्ड कैपेसिटी डिटर्मिन की गई थी कि एक इंडिपेंडेंट पावर प्रोड्यूसर फॉर एग्जांपल 3000 मेगावाट प्रोड्यूस करेगा, तो दैट मीन्स के पाकिस्तानी गवर्नमेंट उसको 3000 मेगावाट्स के लिए पे करेगी, even if the region does not require that much of electricity, which means कि अगर एक independent power producer is producing around 3000 megawatt, that means कि Pakistan government will pay for this 3000 megawatt even if the requirement is not this much. Even if the requirement is about 2000 megawatt, but still Pakistani government will have to pay for the 3000 megawatts. तो obviously loss किसका होगा? Pakistan government का होगा. So this problem is giving rise to the circular debt. यानी the production is much more than the requirement. But still, another problem is that even as supply surges, electricity is still not reaching up to 50 million people in Pakistan who need it, according to a 2018 World Bank report, because there is fault in the transmission lines. विच मीन्स कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस हो तो गई लेकिन उसे ट्रांसमिट भी तो करना है, एंड देयर इज़ फॉल्ट, देयर इज़ इनएफिशिएंट transmission system, which is why electricity is still not reaching around 50 million people. That means ke there is enough production of electricity but there is not enough demand, and even if somewhere there is demand, still electricity is not reaching 50 million people who require electricity because of the faults in the transmission lines. Okay, let me make you understand this. For example, there is a bakery. एक बेकरी है जो कि पेरिशेबल प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूस करती है. That has an expiry time period of 24 hours, which means कि within 24 hours उस बेकरी को वो प्रोडक्ट सेल करना है, otherwise it will expire. और अगर एक्सपायर हो गया तो ऑब्वियसली वो बेकरी लॉस में जाएगी. तो फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल एक बेकरी प्रोड्यूस करती है ब्रेड के 60 पैकेट्स पर डे, एंड इट हैज़ टू सेल दोज 60 पैकेट्स इन अ डे. तो हेयर प्रोडक्शन इज़ 60 पैकेट्स, लेकिन अगर इतनी ही डिमांड भी है, दैट मीन्स कि वो 60 पैकेट्स सेल हो जाएंगे विद इन अ डे एंड प्रॉफिट होगा उस बेकरी को. लेकिन अगर इतनी डिमांड नहीं है लेकिन प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा है, प्रोडक्शन 60 है लेकिन उसकी डिमांड 30 पैकेट्स है, तो दैट मीन्स कि विद इन अ डे वो बेकरी जस्ट 30 पैकेट्स सेल कर पाएगी बिकॉज डिमांड इज़ नॉट दैट मच एज देयर इज़ प्रोडक्शन. सो दैट मीन्स कि 30 पैकेट्स वो सेल कर पाएगी एंड 30 पैकेट्स सेल नहीं हो पाएंगे एंड दे विल एक्सपायर. सो इन दिस वे लॉस होगा बेकरी को बिकॉज 60 पैकेट्स की उसने प्रोडक्शन की, जिसमें से 30 सेल हो गए तो वो उसको प्रॉफिट मिला. लेकिन जो 30 अदर पैकेट्स थे जो सेल नहीं हुए, तो उस पर उसकी प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट लगी लेकिन वो सेल नहीं हुए. दैट मीन्स कि उस बेकरी को लॉस हुआ. इसी तरह पाकिस्तान का भी सिस्टम, एनर्जी सेक्टर में भी यही सिस्टम है कि देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी, मच मोर दैन इट इज़ नीडेड. So for example, Pakistan की installed capacity is about, for example, 13,000, लेकिन पाकिस्तान की डिमांड है it's about 7,000. यानी out of 13,000, 7,000 megawatt is used and the rest 6,000 megawatt is not utilized. That means पाकिस्तान पेड फॉर इट बट डिड नॉट यूज़ इट. दैट मीन्स कि इसका पाकिस्तान को 6,000 मेगावाट्स की प्रोडक्शन का पाकिस्तान को लॉस हुआ. और इस लॉस की वजह यही है कि पाकिस्तान की इतनी एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है जितनी कि उसकी प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी बढ़ चुकी है. एंड यू शुड नो दैट द लॉसेस इन द एनर्जी सेक्टर have significantly contributed to the circular debt of Pakistan, and this is not going to be resolved anytime soon until government comes up with some well thoughtful policies. Our next problem is that of low exports and high imports. You know that when a country has more imports than its exports, then it gives rise to the current account deficit, which suggests that our imports are far higher than our exports. If you see the record, then you will find that our imports are always double the amount of our exports, or maybe sometimes more than the double amount, which obviously leaves a big hole in our foreign currency reserves. आपको ये बात मालूम होगी कि हमारे पास foreign करेंसी रिज़र्व्स कहाँ से आते हैं. वो हमारे पास हमारे एक्सपोर्ट्स के थ्रू आते हैं. जब हम एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, व्हेन वी एक्सपोर्ट एनीथिंग, देन इन रिटर्न वी गेट द फॉरेन करेंसी. इन दिस वे वी से वी हैव द फॉरेन करेंसी रिज़र्व्स, एंड देन वी यूज़ दैट फॉरेन करेंसी टू इम्पोर्ट. नाउ हियर यू कैन फिगर आउट कि अगर हमारे एक्सपोर्ट ज़्यादा होंगे तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे पास ज़्यादा फॉरेन करेंसी आएगी, लेकिन हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमारे एक्सपोर्ट्स बहुत कम हैं, which ultimately leads to the low foreign currency reserves. And the other factor that leads to low foreign currency reserves is that Pakistan has very high imports. That means कि जब हम फॉरेन से प्रोडक्ट इंपोर्ट करेंगे तो हम अपनी फॉरेन करेंसी बाहर भेजेंगे, हम अपनी फॉरेन करेंसी देकर प्रोडक्ट इंपोर्ट करेंगे. So this is an other factor which ultimately leads to the low foreign currency reserves. I hope you get my point. Okay, now let's move on to the next factor, and that is power outages. We all know that our country has been facing a crippling power crisis since 1990s, and this has worsened around since 2007. And obviously this has significantly negatively impacted our GDP growth. क्योंकि obviously अगर पावर नहीं होगा तो हर तरह का बिजनेस, हर तरह का काम जो है वो डिस्टर्ब होगा, और जब डिस्टर्ब होगा यानी एक्टिविटी स्लो होगी, and when the economic activity slows down, then obviously it has a negative impact on our GDP growth. And you must know that the nature of this crisis has evolved over the years, from one of the chronic power supply deficits to one where there is excess installed capacity but not enough cash flow in the system to run it. And this in turn gives rise to another economic challenge, and that is of circular debt issue. ये आप सब जानते हैं कि CPEC के through we have developed our energy sector, which means that we now have installed capacity but not enough cash flow in the system to run it. So obviously that will give rise to the circular debt issue. Our another problem is that of the inefficient agricultural sector. You all know that Pakistan is a very agriculture driven country where the real wealth comes from the agricultural sector in the form of foreign currency. The agriculture sector contributes about 19.19% of GDP and accounts for about 37.4% of employed labor as of 2021, and is the largest source of foreign exchange earnings for Pakistan. But still, our agriculture sector is really inefficient. The governments have long ignored the agriculture, and so government must introduce the sustainable reforms to beef up the agricultural sector, which is very important for a flourishing economy that is highly dependent on the agriculture sector. Now the last problem that we will discuss in this video that has obviously contributed to the economic crisis of Pakistan is that of water scarcity. As per one report, Pakistan's annual per capita water availability has declined to nearly 1,000 cubic meters, which is at just about the scarcity threshold. And this wouldn't be wrong if we say that water scarcity is an existential threat to Pakistan. Because according to the World Resources Institute's Aqueduct Water Crisis Water Risk Atlas, Pakistan ranks 14th in terms of countries facing extremely high water risk. So now you see how adverse is the water scarcity situation in Pakistan, and obviously this will have a debilitating impact on the economy, as it will directly impact our agricultural sector, and Pakistan is highly dependent on agriculture. And actually the problem is that we have been very ignorant about the issue, which is evident from the fact that Pakistan's water storage capacity is less than 30 days, which is obviously very, very, very low. So that's all for now, and I would like to end the topic here. I hope you all understood something. about the economy of Pakistan and the economic challenges of Pakistan. So if you like my videos, then please kindly share, like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.